matuto!
Hello everyone! Welcome to Mom Shei's channel. So for this week 8, we will be discussing solving problems involving radicals. But before we begin, I will appreciate if you will hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much! Are you ready? Tara na! Halina't matuto! At the end of this lesson, you are expected to solve problems involving radicals. So this is the most essential learning competency for this week. Alright, so let us begin solving problems involving radicals. So our first given is the square root of the sum of a number and 9 is 6. Find the number. So how are we going to solve this? First, you have to make a representation. Sabi dyan, you have to analyze the given problem. The square root of the sum of a number and 9 is 6. Ang square root daw ng sum, when we say sum, it is, ayan, addition of a number ng number and 9 ay 6 daw. So what is that number? Okay, so hindi given diyan sa ating given problem. So we need to represent it. That's why we need representation. Let us represent it as x. Let x be the number since hindi natin alam. Ano? So, if x is the number, the sum of the number and 9 will be equal to x plus 9. Tama ba? Sum of a number and 9. Ibig sabihin, pag pinag-add yung number, which is x and 9, so that is x plus 9. Okay? And since the given is the square root of the sum of a number and 9, so, ang square root of the sum of a number and 9 is represented as square root of x plus 9. Tama ba? Okay. Now, after representing the given, we will now solve. Okay? Let us find the solution. First is, let us proceed or let us have this given problem. Sabi dyan, the square root of the sum of a number and 9 is 6. Now, we will going to have or form an equation out of this statement. Sabi dyan, ang square root of the sum in a number and 9 is 6. So, is represented as equal. So, let us form an equation. That would be equal to the square root of the sum of a number and 9 is equal to 6. Okay? So, this is now our equation or radical equation. So, by applying all those that we have learned from the previous video about radical equations, we're going to solve this. In order to solve this, okay, we have two terms. We have a square root of x plus 9, ito yun, and 6. So, we will now proceed in raising to the power of the index. Ano ba yung power ng index natin? This is 2. So, therefore, we're going to raise both sides to the power of 2. So, that will be equal to square root of x plus 9 quantity squared and 6 quantity squared. Now, by simplifying, this will be equal to, okay, we can cancel this. So, we have x plus 9. How about 6 squared? Okay, we have 36 because 6 times 6 is equal to 36. Now, simplifying and finding the value of x, we need to transpose positive 9 to the other side. So, that would be equal to x is equal to 36. Positive 9 will become, okay, negative 9. Okay, so our equation will be x is equal to 36 minus 9. Now, performing the operation, 36 minus 9, that is equal to 27. So, therefore, our x is equal to 27. Now, we have to answer what is being asked in our given problem. In the problem, we are tasked to find the number. So, our answer will be, the number is equal to 27. Okay, you have to put it. Now, in order to check it, okay, let us check it. So, we have a square root daw ng number which is 27 plus 9 is equal to 6. What is 27 plus 9? 36. And what is the square root of 36? We have 6. So, therefore, 6 is equal to 6. Therefore, 27 as our answer is the final answer or the true solution of our given problem. Did you understand? Okay. Let us have our second example. We have the given problem is a man walks 8 meters to the east, then turn south and walk 6 meters. How far is he from his starting point? So in order to solve this given problem, we need to represent it. If you can illustrate the given problem, kung kayang i-draw natin. Now, to represent this, let us have first the concept of this direction. Ito yung north, east, south, west. So, dapat alam natin yan. Sabi dyan, a man walks 8 meters to the east. So, pag pupunta sa east, ayan. So, papunta siya sa right. So, therefore, let us represent it as line. Mula dito, ito yung man walks 8 meters to the east. Papunta doon sa east or sa right. So, this is 8 meters ang nalakad niya. Then, he turned south and walked 6 meters. Now, alin naman yung south natin? Ayan, ito namang pababa. So, nag-turn siya and then he walks 6 meters. So, ayan, pababa. So, this is 6 meters. Now, ang tinatanong sa atin, we are asked, how far is he from his starting point? So, nasan ba yung starting point? Ito po yun. So, nasan na siya ngayon? Ito. So, ang tinatanong dyan is, how far is he from his starting point? Okay? So, itong red line ang hinahanap. Okay? Now, class, this is an example, or this problem is an example of a right triangle. Okay? Or problems involving right triangle. Because common problem involving radical is the solution of a right triangle applying the Pythagorean theorem. So, dito i-apply natin ang Pythagorean theorem since common problems that involves radicals ay may kinalaman sa right triangle. So, this time, what is this Pythagorean theorem? So, this states that the sum of the squares of the lengths of the two legs is equal to the square of the length of the hypotenuse. So, yan yung sinasabi ng ating Pythagorean theorem. Ang sum daw ng squares ng length of the two legs. Alin ba yung two legs natin? Okay, ito po yun. This one and this one. Ito yung leg 1, shorter leg, and this is the longer leg. Is equal to the square of the length of the hypotenuse. Where is the hypotenuse? Okay, ito po yung hypotenuse, the longest side, o yung naka-slant. Okay? So, that is the hypotenuse. So, when we represent it into mathematical sentence, this will be equal to c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So, saan ang galing si c squared, si c, si a, at si b? Okay, suppose that we have here, or we represent this as A, this is B, and this is C. Suppose that. Okay, so this is the opposite side of this angle C is our C. Okay, or the hypotenuse. Okay, tandaan nyo, ang hypotenuse ay makikita, lagi siyang opposite ng ating right triangle. Or right angle. So, this is our right angle, opposite siya lagi. So, this is our shorter leg. This is a longer leg, which is B. And this is C. C is equal to, this is A. A is equal to 6 meters. Now, substituting the values, we will have, okay, ang C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Kung ang hahanapin natin is only the hypotenuse, we will get the square root of both sides. Tama ba? Di ba kukunin natin ang square root nila in order to find C. So, square root of C squared is equal to C. is equal to square root of a squared plus b squared. So, pwede natin itong gamitin na solution in order to apply the Pythagorean theorem. Now, let's go back to our given problem. So, the solution will be, okay, we will use this Pythagorean theorem. Tandaan nyo, ang Pythagorean theorem ay mahalaga in solving problems involving right triangle. Kapag nakita kayo ng right triangle, lagi po ay ang Pythagorean theorem. Okay? Most of the problems involves Pythagorean theorem. Especially if the givens are, or if the given are the legs. Okay? Now, let us substitute. What is the value of C? Okay. C is missing. Now, how about A? A is, okay, we have 6. 6 squared plus, how about B? We have 8 squared. Now, simplifying, 6 squared is equal to 36. 6 times 6 is 36, and 8 times 8 is 64. Let us perform this operation. I-add natin. 36 plus 64 is 100. So, what is the square root of 100? So, that is equal to 10. So, therefore, C is equal to 10. So, ito ba yung hinahanap natin? Tama ba? Okay, sabi dyan, how far is he from his starting point? So, therefore, the distance of the man from his starting point is 10 meters. Okay? 10 meters po yan. So, let us use its unit of measurement. Kung ang ginamit ay meters, kailangan yung answer or final answer natin should also be in that unit. Okay? So, C is equal to 10, or the distance of the man from his starting point is 10 meters. Let us have this third example. A ladder 12 feet tall lean against the wall of a building. So, i-analyze natin yung problem. Ang ladder daw, do you know a ladder? Okay, ladder ay yung hagdan. Tama ba? So, a ladder daw na may sukat or may length or may haba na 12 feet tall ay nakalin or nakasandal against the wall of the building. The ladder touches a point of the wall 6 feet from the ground. How far is the foot of the ladder from the building? Now, in order to solve this, we need representation. Let us represent first or illustrate first the given problem para maunawaan natin. There is a building. Ito yung building. Pwede tayong mag-draw. Pwede naman yung straight line lang. If this is the building, there is also a ladder that leans against the wall. Yan. So, there is a ladder na nakasandal dun sa ating wall. At yung mula doon sa, ang ating ladder is equal to 12 feet. A ladder touches a point of the wall 6 feet from the ground. Ibig sabihin, mula dito hanggang doon sa ground is 6 feet. Hindi po ang 6 feet ay taas ng building ha. Hanggang doon lamang sa pinaka point na na-touch ng ladder hanggang doon sa ground. Yun po yung length, 6 feet. Now, ang tinatanong dyan is, how far is the foot of the ladder from the building? Gaano daw kalayo yung foot ng ladder? Alin yon? Okay, this part. Hanggang doon sa building natin. Doon din sa foot ng building. So, we are asking for this. Okay? Now, how are we going to solve this? If you notice, we again form a triangle. Tama ba? Or a right triangle. This is a right triangle. So, naka-form na ulit tayo ng right triangle. In which, okay, ito yung right angle. So, therefore, kung naka-form tayo ng right triangle, applicable pala ulit dito. And since ang given natin ay lengths of the sides of the triangle, applicable pala ulit dito ang ating Pythagorean theorem. Now, let's have our solution. Let us first represent, let L is equal to 12, and that is the length of the ladder. Ang H natin is equal to 6, which is the distance of the top of the ladder from the foot of the building. And let D be the distance of the foot of the ladder from the foot of the building. Okay? Now, let us have solution. Again, sabi ko nga sa inyo, i-apply natin dito ang Pythagorean theorem. In the Pythagorean theorem, we have L, we have the hypotenuse is equal to, alin ba yung hypotenuse natin? Okay. Ang L natin is length of the ladder. Okay, ito po yung hypotenuse natin. Okay? Ito yung hypotenuse natin kasi, sabi ko nga sa inyo, ang hypotenuse ay laging opposite ng right angle. If this is the right angle, then ito yung ating hypotenuse. O siya yung nakaslant. So, we have L is equal to square root of h squared plus d squared. Saan po nanggaling yan? Okay, babalikan lamang natin yung ating ano ha. We have C is equal to, this is the Pythagorean theorem. We have A squared is equal to or plus B squared. Okay? Or we have C is equal to square root of A squared plus B squared. So, nirepresent lang natin siya depende dun sa ating representation na ginamit. Since ang hypotenuse ay L, L ito. Then A is equal to the H and D. Okay? Now, let us represent it or let us substitute the values. We have D. Ang L natin na or ang D ang nawawala. So, if D ang nawawala, we have to subtract L from our hypotenuse or from our, yes, the hypotenuse. Tama ba? Okay, so that is equal to L is equal to h squared plus d squared. So, this will be equal to D is equal to L squared minus what? Okay, minus h squared. So, this time, let us substitute. Ang D is equal to, ano ba yung ating hypotenuse? Okay, ano yung ating length ng ladder? We have 12. 12 squared minus, how about our, okay, this h. So, we have 6. So, 6 is squared. Now, let us perform this. 12 times 12 is 144 and 6 times 6 is 36. And 144 minus 36 is equal to 108. So, therefore, may makukuha ba natin ang square root of 108? Is 108 a perfect square number? Okay, hindi po. So, in that case, we will apply the simplifying radicals, yung pinag-aralan natin in our previous lesson. Now, in order to simplify square root of 108, we need to get the factors of 108 in which one of it is a perfect square number. And what is that number? Okay, right. That is 36 times 3. 36 times 3 is equal to 108. At ang perfect square number dyan is equal to 36. Okay? Now, let us extract the root. What is the square root of 36? Okay, we have 6. How about the square root of 3? Okay, hindi po natin siya pwedeng ilabas, so we need only to write it as a square root of 3. So, therefore, D is equal to 6 square root of 3. So, this is the distance of the foot of the ladder from the foot of the building. Therefore, the distance of the foot of the ladder from the foot of the building is 6 square root of 3. What is the unit? Okay, we have feet. So, kailangan i-include din natin siya. So, this is the final answer. Let us have another example. For our fourth example, we have the area of the square lot is 162 meters squared. How long is the side of the square? So, dito, ang concept na ginamit dito ay is area ng square. So, we should have the knowledge of the formulas in finding the area of a square. So, here, for our representation, we may draw a square. And then, for the area, that is equal to 162 square meters. Now, we are looking for the side of the square. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung hinahanap. Ano ba yung length ng sides ng square? Since pare-pares naman ang sides or length ng side ng square, so yun yung hahanapin natin. We are looking for the side. Now, let us have the solution. We will use the formula in finding the area of the square, and that is equal to A is equal to S squared. Tama ba? So that will be the formula. Now, let us substitute the given. Ang given natin, ang area ay 162. Now, this will be equal to 162. Sinubstitute lamang natin. Equals S squared. Okay? Now, since we have this radical equation, 162 is equal to S squared, we may apply solving radical equations. And that is by extracting the root of both sides. Let us extract or get the square root of 162, the same as the square root of S squared. So here, square root of S squared is equal to S, and the square root of 162 is equal to, okay, kinuha natin yung factors ni 162 since ang 162 ay hindi perfect square. Ang square root or ang perfect square na factor ng ating 162 is 81. Kasi ang factors niya ay 81 times 2. 81 times 2 is equal to 162. And the perfect square number is 81. And square root of S squared is equal to S. Now, let us extract the perfect square number, which is 81. What is the square root of 81? That is 9. How about the square root of 2? Okay, so hindi natin siya kayang i-extract. So, hayaan natin siyang nasa loob ng ating square root. So, meaning to say, our answer or the side is equal to 9 square root of 2. So, that is our answer. Now, in order to answer what is being asked in our problem, how long is the side of the square? Therefore, the side of the square is equal to 9 square root of 2 meters. Okay, don't forget the unit of measurement. For the last example, the given problem is the diagonal of a rectangle is 5 square root of x. If the width of the rectangle is x, and the length is twice the width, what is the dimension of the rectangle? Again, you have to analyze the given problem carefully. Reread it or read it as many as you can until you analyze that given problem. Okay? So, sabi dyan, ang diagonal daw. Do you know diagonal? Okay, ang diagonal po ay yung the line that connects the two opposite vertices. Correct. So, the diagonal of the rectangle is 5 square root of x. So, let us first represent that rectangle. So, the rectangle is like this. And the diagonal ay ito po yun. The line that connects the two opposite vertices. So, ayan yung ating diagonal. Sabi dyan, ang length daw ng diagonal is equal to 5 square root of x. And then, we have given the condition if the width of the rectangle is x. So, where is the width? Okay, this is the width, which is represented as x. And the length is twice the width. Doble daw ng width. If our width is the x, therefore, ang length is equal to 2x. Tama ba? Okay. So, what is the dimension of the rectangle? So, we are looking for the dimension of the rectangle. When we say dimensions, we are looking for the width, the length, and the diagonal. Okay? Now, let us start solving it. Let us solve it by, so what is, since we have formed here a triangle, a right triangle, tama ba? Okay, ito yon. Naka-form tayo dito ng right triangle. If there is a right triangle, meron din tayong, or we can apply the Pythagorean theorem since the given are the length of the sides. So, therefore, we can apply the Pythagorean theorem, c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. So this will be equal to, okay, alin yung C natin sa hypotenuse? Asan yung hypotenuse natin dito? Very good. Ang hypotenuse natin is 5 square root of x. Maliwanag? Okay. So this is our hypotenuse. Okay? This is the hypotenuse. Okay. So if this is the hypotenuse, therefore, ang C is equal to 5 square root of x quantity squared. So, sinubstitute lamang natin. Instead of writing C, we write the value of C or the hypotenuse. So, that is 5 square root of x is equal to a squared. What is a? Okay, this is a, which is the 2x. So, 2x squared. Instead of writing a, we write the value of the length, which is 2x. And then plus b squared, we have x squared. So here we have, okay, we need to simplify it. Let us apply what we have learned. 5 square root of x quantity squared is equal to, okay, 25. Ito muna, 5. Since this is the coefficient, so we also need to get its square. So 5 times 5 is equal to 25. How about the square root of x quantity squared? Very good. That is x. So multiply it to the coefficient. Is equal to, how about 2x quantity squared? 2 times 2, we have 4. X times x, we have x squared. Plus, we have x squared. So this is equal to x squared. Now, since let us combine like terms and apply this, 25 times x is 25x. Since ito ay parehas ng literal coefficient, which is x squared, so ibig sabihin, they are similar terms. Ibig sabihin, we can combine them. 4x squared plus x squared is equal to, okay, that is equal to 5x squared. Okay? If that is equal to 5x squared, so therefore, 25x is equal to 5x squared. So therefore, pwede natin silang i-divide both side by its common. Ano yung common nila? Okay, that is 5x. So, 5 is divisible by 25 as well as this. Ang x ay divisible din by x and divisible by x squared. So, let us divide both sides by 5x. So, therefore, makakancel natin si 5. Makakancel din natin dito si x. At dito, isang x. Pero, may natira pa tayong isa. Since x squared yun, dalawa yung x doon. Okay? So, meron pa tayo ditong natirang x. Tama ba? And then here, makakancel dito si x. How about 25 divided by 5? That is, okay, that is 5. So, therefore, x is equal to 5. Yun ba yung hinahanap natin? Okay. We are looking for what is the dimension of the rectangle. Ano ba yung x is equal to 5? Is it the length, the width, or the diagonal? Okay. If we're going to answer it, 5 is the, okay, that is the width. So, the width is equal to 5 units. Since wala tayong measurements, sulat na lang natin ay units. So, the width is 5 units. How about the length? Ang length daw ay 2 times the width. Ano ba yung width? 5. 2 times 5, that is 10. So, therefore, the length is 10 units. How about the diagonal? Ang diagonal natin is equal to 5 square root of x. So, therefore, that is 5 square root of x ang ating diagonal. Did you understand? Okay. Alright, so that is all for our video lessons for our week 8. And I guess that would be all for our quarter 2. So congratulations, my dear students. We have made it. Thank you for letting me be part of your studying at home. Don't forget the hashtag Learn at Home with Ma'am Shei. So please do share this to your classmates and friends. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. This is your Ma'am Shei, your guide in learning at home during your modular distance learning. Goodbye!
This video tutorial is made especially for you in Learning Mathematics 9. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.